Hello and welcome, friends. This is Whitney, the influencer. Don't you like how the first thing I do is sniff and and rub my nose when I get started? I am so professional. Holy crap. Okay, guys, so it has been a couple of weeks since I have done a video. And here's why. There's no good reason. There's no really good reason. I was trying to do this at night. Sometimes when my kiddo was sleeping and my to-do list just kept getting pretty long. And I was like, oh, okay, I've got to take care of some things, do some stuff. And then my husband decided, I think I want to get like HBO Max for a while so we can watch, what is it? The prequel to Game of Thrones. It's like the House of the Dragon thing. So we spent some time watching that. In the evenings, so I definitely didn't do the sitting on the couch doing the video of myself at night like y'all had gotten a couple of those. Anyway, I've been otherwise occupied. This video is in the springtime. It's early April right now. We just had Easter, so my kiddos, we did Easter. We had the Easter bunny come and bring us some gifts, some little baskets, and a little bit of chocolate, lots of eggs to find, etc., etc. So that was a good time. Took some nice little photos. It's like one of the few times I require my children to look somewhat decent so we can grab a picture of all of us together at once looking halfway nice. Let's see what else has happened these last couple of weeks. Just been, as far as my health and wellness, that's something that I prioritize daily, making it to the gym, getting my training sessions in. My food is kind of like on a repeat. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all, I had some chocolate at Easter, but I did not keep having chocolate after Easter. So it was like one and done, but again, I've got goals, and those little days of indulgence will have to absolutely come to an end ASAP, because my time is running short on moving toward getting ready for that contest. It's in October. But I have been consistent in the gym, mostly consistent, maybe 85, 90%, sometimes better on my macros and hitting what I need for the day. So all of that's going well. But I was just thinking about what topic could I decide. Literally before I pulled this up and started recording stuff, I was like, let me get into my phone, and I'm recording on my phone. So then it's like if I'm taking screenshots or trying to take notes, I can't access them because I'm talking to y'all right now on my phone. I can't get on it. So maybe one day I'll actually get a camera. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But I was asking GPT, I'm like, I need some topics. I mean, it's not like I don't think about stuff all the time, but I'm in the car, I'm somewhere, I'm doing something else and something pops into my head and I'm like, I really need to start taking notes, because I have things that are really interesting that I'd love to talk about, but I swear as soon as this phone gets in front of me and I hit record, I'm like, this. That's what happens. I don't know. My brain freezes. So I actually went old school, got out some pen, paper situation. And there's so many things, y'all. I'm going to do better about making some lists. I asked ChatGPT, and it was just like, those were a little not quite up my alley for what I was actually asking. So I better ask it a little better. But it gave me some eight or 10 topics, that. On things to talk about as a mother of 2 little ones at my age, I'm a stay-at-home mom, etc., etc. So anyway, we might get around to those. But I thought to myself, what could we just kind of talk about that could be useful to you? And again, Whitney the influencer. I'm almost 4 minutes in and let's say my name now. And of course, I've been saying I'm Whitney the influencer. Do the shit you want to do and not the shit you don't want to do. But then again, I might need to refine that and make that even better into something, because really what I really want you guys to be influenced by, or influenced, whatever you want to say, because obviously if you're watching this, you're getting something out of it. You can make a decision on what you want to take or not. But I keep thinking to myself, I don't want you to be influenced so much by so much exterior stuff. The stuff that we really need to work on, that was going to matter in the end of all things, is going to be the interior stuff. So if you're not feeling good from your bones and then outward, then that's the stuff you need to start with. Health and wellness is a great place to start. Mental health, spiritual, emotional, all the things, all of it. Be well here, and then go do the other things that people are influencing you to do. But make sure all this stuff is good. That's really my message that I really want to come across and get out. But today, some things to start with, and it's been something that I've worked on continually in my life, and it changes season to season depending on what's going on in the world and what's going on with me and the kids and husband, whatever, or kind of like your daily routines. So some people are like, I don't really have any daily routines. Well, guess what? You do, and even chaos is a routine. So if you're like, I'm always late, I'm like, that's a routine. If you like, life is insane first thing in the morning, I can't get things to get, that's a routine. So all of it's a routine, even if you don't want to call it that or not. Even if you've not worked on it to be something, it's still something. If it happens all the time, every day, and it's continual, that's a routine. So if you want to improve that, one of the things that I try to do is do consistency. If you have kids, you know that they thrive in that. So that's something that I want to give to them, is some consistency. And people talk about, oh, your morning routine, and you got to do this and that, and and you got to do 70 different things. No, you don't. I don't live your life. You don't live my life. I don't know what you do. You don't know exactly what happens in my world every day. So you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. I've got a few people that I'll mention here, and who they are, and they've got some podcasts and some things that I've learned from them. It's really, really neat. So I'll put that maybe in the notes. Ooh, fancy. I'm going to put stuff in notes. Anyway, let's talk about routines. People always want to start with a morning routine. And I'm going to say, let's not start with a morning routine. And here's why. Your morning is only going to go so well as how you'd set it up to go. And guess when you do the setup? The night before. So let's talk about your evening routines. So there's some differences between like nighttime getting ready to go to bed and like your own personal, hygiene routine, that kind of thing. There's a little personal routine you do before actually going to sleep. But your evening routine, let's say your kids come home, the afternoon. Like for me, my kiddos come home, the first thing I do when I get the one that's in school, I have one that's younger, I get him home, he starts on homework as soon as he walks in the door. That's been something that we do is like since he started school day. So he knows we come home, we sit down, we get our stuff out, we unload, we start our homework, we do that. We have playtime, we do dinner about 5 o'clock. We're an early kind of eating family. So dinner for them is at 5. So they do some playtime. Mommy's playing, mommy's doing some things. I'm getting dinner ready. We usually keep it pretty simple, between 4 and 5 different things that they rotate through. And mommy is the same way. I think daddy is even more limited. He pretty much eats the same thing every day on repeat with a variation of like 2 or 3 things. It's very interesting. Anyway, it works for him, so that's fine. But evening, I put my kids down, my kiddos are young, they go to bed between 6:30, 6:45 to 7:15, somewhere in there. So we're doing bedtime routine during that time, getting them a book read, getting everything done. So after the kids are in bed and it's 7 or 7:15, I have a little bit of time because I like to be in bed by 8:30 or 9. Yes, I know that's early, but I appreciate what rest does for me. And if you don't, there's so much stuff on sleep out there, y'all. We could talk about that too. But anyway, what are you doing in the evening to get yourself set up for the next day? What's happening? Do you take a minute, see what's happening on your schedule, see what's happening with your life the next day, what appointments you might have, if you've got meetings, if you've got work, all that kind of stuff. Back everything up and see what's happening. How can you help yourself for the next morning? We do our coffee set up the night before. We put your clothes out for your workouts, put your clothes out for whatever. Same thing with your kids, get their clothes ready. Those types of things that you can put in to make sure that your chaos in the morning starts to get less chaotic. So what is it that you're doing? What is it that you could do, I should say, to relieve some of that? Things with shoes, things with clothes, lunches, backpacks, things going out the door, things for yourself. Again, make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So what is your nighttime routine looking like? And here's something that I had a friend that in my little workout group that I'm in, I say little workout group, there's like 60 women. Anyway, my coach, and she has a group and I'm in this group, and she was talking about staying up really like super, super late. Like she was up till like 2 a.m. and I'm like, what are you doing? Like I think I mean, she works. I think she's got older kids. I can't remember now. But anyway, she's up so late. And I told her, I said, is it because that's the only time you have where nobody is bothering you for anything? Nobody's asking you for something. You're not feeling like you're beholden to someone to do something for them. And that's the time you have for yourself. And she's like, that's a big part of it. And that's a big part of it for, I think, a lot of women, a lot of mothers that are out there. That's your, like, nobody's bothering you time. However, what if you started to shift that and start moving that timeline backwards a little bit and giving yourself rest for the next day, and maybe eventually you'll start working toward having like 10 minutes earlier, waking up 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, because that time in the morning when nobody else is bothering you and the world hasn't started, the kids haven't gotten up, that is precious time. It is so lovely to just kind of either get ready for the day, put something that feels good for you. If it's that you're going to get up and stretch in the morning, it could be that you get up and take a shower first thing before anybody. I mean, it could be whatever is going to feel good to you, to kind of get you in a good place for the rest of the day. Put that in the morning instead of at night, where it's robbing you of your rest and sleep and that kind of thing. So she's been doing that, and I think she's feeling better. And if you're doing that, because I'm guilty of it sometimes, where I'm just up late watching something on TV or scrolling or whatever, I'm like, is this really adding to my life? Or could I get some rest and actually feel really good the next day? So nighttime routines matter. So see what it is that you can help your future self the next day and get ready for in the morning. And so speaking of the morning, I just kind of mentioned that. So if you're starting to shift things back a little bit, whatever your nighttime routine looks like, if you don't know, sit down and analyze it. Spend a few days like saying, what did I do this evening? So maybe you just need to write out what you're doing and then say, what are my pain points? What are the things that are bothering me? What would I like solutions for? And start to write those down and start to see where you could kind of make those changes and put them into place. And it doesn't mean you do them all at once, for the love of God. No, small changes happen little tiny bits at a time. It's not all meant to be done at once. And you're meant also to take your time implementing them. Like, I'm not saying get up an hour early and do 1,200 different things before the kids get up. No, start small, start small, start small. Start small and be nice to yourself. Be forgiving to yourself. Keep working at it. It doesn't mean that you give up. That's also the deal. Okay, so we've talked about the nighttime, getting yourself set up for the next day and whatever that looks like for you. So analyze it, put a couple of things in place that you want to try, and work on those for the next week or so and see how that feels. And if that feels great, you can reanalyze again and add a couple of different things that you had already identified and try that. Yay, maybe something's going to change and be great. So the morning time when you're getting up, again, if you've got kids and your life is chaos in the morning, identify that stuff and see what it is that you can do to help fix it. And y'all, routines are amazing. It helps your kids know what the expectations are for things. It helps you know what you're expecting. Your stress level's going to go down, all of the different things. It's just helpful all the way around. So I'm not saying that you got to do my morning routine. Mine is that I'm up every morning between 5:30 and 6 in the morning most days. There are some days that it's 6:15. My alarm goes off at 6:15, so a lot of times I'm up before my alarm goes off, and I'll just turn it off. But I get up in the morning, I track everything, so I'm weighing myself every morning. And the reason I weigh myself every morning is because I don't want to be afraid of the scale. It's a data point. We can all assign our own feeling to that number or those numbers that show up for us. Again, I'm chasing a body fat percentage and not necessarily a number on a scale. I want to know what I look like, how I feel in my clothes, my energy level, and my body fat percentage, and how much skeletal muscle I'm keeping on me. So I'm always trying to, work toward that. So I do that first thing in the morning. I get up, turn my coffee on. I turn the TV on. I'm watching a little bit of news before the kids get up, just kind of as a wake up. And that's for me. Like, the kids eat the same thing for breakfast every day. Nobody's complaining. We eat the same thing. The lunch is ready. We've got stuff going. It's a nice routine for us. So it's just look at your life and see what needs to be done and what you can help there. That's all. And I want to know, if you have a comment to make, if you've got things to ask, I may be able to answer a question. There's no telling. I'm definitely no expert for any, but I listen to experts, which is always good. And I'll tell you who those people are. Again, in the show notes, I put that in there. But your night routine, starting to move your bedtime sooner. That means that I would highly consider turning down the lights in your house. If you're not doing that the night before, that's going to help your brain know, oh, we're going to go to bed soon. Like, all the lights go down in our house. Curtains are closed. We've got a few lamps on. but we start to put that into our minds, into our eyes, into our psyche that it's nighttime. TV, that's something I got to work on. Gosh, turning that TV down. It's going to help a lot. But that's when I tend to watch a few things, but I make sure that I'm in bed by a certain time. So I get that on, I get to turn everything off, I do my nighttime routine for myself, get into bed. So everybody's got a little bit of something different that would work for them. So think about that for yourself. I know this is all over the place, guys. I am not professional at this yet. So y'all are just lovely for sticking with me on this. And thank you for giving me 2 weeks. I was going to try to do a thing every day. It did not end up being every day. But again, that's okay. We all have life. So nighttime routine, morning routine, and adapt it to your life. Take a look at what's going on, adapt it to your life. Start small, do some small little things to start with, and then decide after that what it is you want to keep. If it worked, you got to try it for a little while though to decide if it works. And add other things in, shift slowly, and see how that makes your life better. Okay, the people that I like to follow about some daily routines and organization and blah, 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 and just those kind of things. If you don't know who Emily Ley is, it's Emily, regular E-M-I-L-Y, and her last name is L-E-Y. So you can just do EmilyLey.com. Again, her last name is L-E-Y. She sells planners, organizational things, or whatever. She's got several books. So if you want to organize your whole house and life, and she's got great resources. And she's around my same age. Her kiddos are a little older, but she's in the same season of life as far as age is concerned and everything with me. So I like her. And then there's another podcast, and Emily Ley has a website. She does have a podcast called Simplified. So I think she's taken a hiatus on it, but there's some good episodes in there if you wanted to listen. So Emily Ley has a podcast. And also a lady, her name is Kendra Hennessy, but her podcast is called Mother Like a Boss. So Mother Like a Boss is her podcast. She's got, her things are mostly about, she owned a cleaning company for several years. So she's got a lot of different hacks for like taking care of your life as far as your home and keeping things clean and organized and how to do all that. She's got some great ideas and I really like her. And then if you guys don't know who Kendra Adachi is, another Kendra Adachi, and she has The Lazy Genius. And she's got a book or two, but she also has like a website. But the Lazy Genius podcast is really good. She's got several hundred episodes, I think, under her belt there. So you'd be able to go and see what she has to say too. And she's got some really great tips on all kind of stuff. Her motto is be a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't. And you get to decide how to do that. And she has Lazy Genius principles. She's got all kind of different things. So I've learned a lot from her as well on like organizing, prioritizing, all of those kind of things. So again, I'll put those in the show notes. Show notes. Anyway, so fancy. I'll put that in there so you guys can see. But hopefully this is a little bit better than some of the other crazy psychotic things I've said. I'm throwing my notes down there. Hopefully it's helpful. That's all I can say. This thing's gone on for 19 minutes already, so let's wrap this up. I hope you guys are having a great spring, because this is springtime when I'm recording this, so I hope you guys are having a great spring. As you can see, I'm wearing a tank top, so yay, it's springtime. So hopefully that's gonna continue to show up here in Colorado. And we'll move into what's fun for the summer with kids. Hopefully you guys have some things planned that are going to be fun, but I want to hear back from you if you found this interesting, if any of this was helpful to you, if I'm making you insane, if I need to stop talking so much, if I'm rambling and it's making you crazy, all the things. I want to know, because I need to refine this a little bit better so it makes sense to everyone. But anyway, let me hear about things that you're putting into place for your organization, your routines, and see how they go and see if it's helpful. So I'm glad you came to visit, guys. And hopefully I will get to see you again. You'll come visit with me again. Have an awesome day.